365 on us. It's better for business and only with T-Mobile for Business. Limited time offer. Stop in store for details. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Virtual Express MasterCard within 8 weeks of receipt of valid submission. Complete port within 60 days. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices, coverage, and plan details.
Love Bob Evans for breakfast? Feed the whole crew with a fresh, cracked family meal to go. Serves up to 6 for as low as $3.99 per person.
It's time to swing for the fences. Want to win $1,000? Be listening weekdays once an hour starting at 6 a.m. for the winning word and enter it at wingam.com. It's the Swing for the Fences $1,000 a day giveaway right here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots.
Watch for the great block by Keith Byars on Pepper Johnson. Bam! Right there. Byars just failed.
He's Dayton's own Keith Byars. It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome. You're listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Phone number to call is 937-457-9464. 937-457-9464. You can hit me on Twitter also at KAB41. Wow. We're still in the midst of the coronavirus. Please take care of yourself, people. I don't know if you've seen the news and saw what happened down in Miami and South Beach. No social distancing, and the police had to be called in. We don't want no super spreader events like that. We're trending on the right way here in Ohio. I'm not going to say we're doing great, but we are trending on the right way. Let's continue to do our part, and continue to wear your mask, keep your social distancing, keep your numbers in small, gatherings. So continue to do a good job here in Ohio so we can, set the standard and let people try to copycat us doing it the right way, not the wrong way. Black Lives Matter, not just Black Lives Matter, I know all lives matter, but this is, sometimes you have to target things, just to get the attention out there. It does. We want to end this systematic racism. And on that vibe, as I said, just like Black Lives Matter and all lives matter, Asian American Pacific Islanders. I can't believe what happened last Monday. Well, then again, I can believe what happened with some of the things the climate we've had in different times. But, the massacre down in Georgia, our heart and prayers and thoughts go out to those families that were affected. We have got to stop this. We got to stop it. So I want to continue to go, but now let me get to the sports. I have to say that. I'd be remiss because sports and life, you can't separate them. We're all together. But now we're going to target sports. Congratulations to the Centerville Elks on your state high school basketball championship over Westerville Central. I know with the pandemic, things, instead of you having gone to Columbus, you got to play a beautiful University of Dayton Arena. That wasn't a bad consolation game, the place to play your state championship game. And they usually get a day off in between. So they won the semifinal on Saturday, came back on Sunday and won the state final. Kudos, to the head coach, the players, the families, everybody who follows Centerville basketball in the community. And hey, we love the community. We love state championships here, in the greater Dayton area. So Centerville, they represented well. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is their first state championship, also. Yes, it is their first state championship. Guys, you're going to go down in the history of Centerville. I'm saying this your first, so that means there can be a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth, someday in the future. But hey, this is an awesome thing for you guys. The last couple of weeks on my show, I've been talking about my Rolfe High School basketball championship from 1981. It was our 40th anniversary over the weekend. It's just funny how that worked out. March 20th, 1981 was the day that my basketball team won the state championship. And all of us got together. I've been talking about it. We got together for reunion of sorts. And actually, it was profiled yesterday in the Dayton Daily News. If you guys didn't see that, pick it up, that copy of that. But we remember that 40 years ago, and it doesn't seem like 40 years ago until you say it out loud. But we knew then that night we were going to remember this the rest of our lives. So the Centerville basketball team, you won that championship yesterday. It's a great day. And then maybe 40 years from now, all of you guys will get together and celebrate it like we did over the weekends. You're never going to forget it. Nobody can ever take it away from you. It is, one of your major highlights of high school. Not the most, one of the most important highlight of high school is walking across that stage, picking up your high school diploma. That's going to be the biggest thing you'll remember. But this is one of the things along the way. And I know like the 12 to 15 kids on the basketball team, you'll get a lot of attention, but the student body, that means something to the student body. Hey, we went to, a high school with state champions. I went to that state championship high school. So it is a big thing. And I'm making a big deal about it because it is a big deal. If you didn't win one this year, hey, you got a chance to win another one next year. So it can happen and it has to happen. So why couldn't it be for you? And so Centerville, kudos to you. And don't let no one downplay it. So some of the other schools, we done won some of those. We won state championships before. Yeah, but you didn't win this year. You didn't win in 19. You didn't win in 2021. So this is your year. Kudos, Centerville. Sorry I didn't get a chance to see you play, during the regular season. Because the pandemic and coronavirus. But I remember watching them last year, and I was like, that team's got some potential. They're young, but I like what I see. And it came all together for you this year. And guarantee I'll be there next year, next season, to see you play. I know seniors will be graduating, but that's an awesome thing to do. So kudos. Now go back to back. Win you another one. It can happen. It can happen. The reason why I say it can happen happened for me. We won in 1981. So in 1982, we came back and repeated and brought another state championship home. So next year, I got another 40th year anniversary to celebrate in 2022. And we're going to get together and celebrate. But right now, we're talking about Centerville. Kudos to Centerville. So people in the greater Dayton community, when you meet one of the kids that played at Centerville High School, hey, give them a pat on the back and say, good job, young man. Good job. And I don't want to forget the cheerleaders. Their cheerleaders were part of the championship too. You got to cheer for a state champion. Great, great, great. Well, we are in March Madness, and the winter is over, according to the calendar, correct? Now we are officially into spring. Daylight savings time was last Sunday. We are in spring now. So much so I put my some of my furniture, my lawn furniture, pillows on my front of my house. And they've been in the shed locked up. And I said, okay, it's spring, boom. So old man winter, please don't come back. We want to play golf now. It's a beautiful day outside, enjoy the weather. And still, we can still go back to coronavirus, still take care of one another. But with it being March, and this is my favorite tournament of the year, is the NCAA March Madness. Absolutely love it. Same thing to make me smile also makes me cry come tournament time. This time last week I was riding sky high. I'm like the Big Ten. 9 teams in a tournament, only second all time to the Big East, who had 11, and they're really basically a basketball conference. They was never really a basketball, football, track, whatever total conference such as the Big Ten. So it's such a great thing. And all that optimism last Monday, we got 9 teams in the tournament. I'm thinking the Big Ten is going to have 2 teams in the Final Four. I was like, possibly 3. I mean, the Big Ten is going to do very well in this tournament. That's prior to tip-off on Thursday night and Friday. And Thursday night, the tournament started with Michigan State losing a close one to UCLA. They were the first Big Ten team out. And because I got to get through this part of the show real quick as possible. Followed by my beloved the Ohio State University Buckeyes taking it on the chin to the 15th seeded. That means we were the second seeded Oral Roberts University. Wow. Oral Roberts. First round. Whipped out the Buckeyes. And that hurt. That hurt really bad. And some of my other friends, they would calling me and texting me, and so they was giving me the business, and rightfully so, because I talked a lot of smack. Like we're definitely going to be in the Sweet 16, and after that we're going to be in the Elite 8, and after that we're going to be in the Final Four. But like I said earlier, with sometimes the same thing that makes you smile makes you cry. So I had to cry and crying the blues about that Big Ten loss, about Ohio State losing. And then right now it's only 3 teams standing. After a round and a half, because today is they're wrapping up the second round today to who goes to the Sweet 16. So the Big Ten went from 9 teams in the tournament to now 3. Maryland, they have a big game today against Alabama. Iowa's left, in there. And wait a minute, I just forgot who's the third team. Oh, Michigan. Michigan is still left. And we're going to see Michigan has LSU later on tonight. And Iowa is playing, what time is Iowa play? I just looked at it. Oh, they're on right now. They're playing Oregon. They just tipped off at 12:10. And I just already said Alabama has Maryland. So we got to hope those 3 teams, continue to advance. But we will see. Maryland and Alabama is not till late on the night at 8:45. But I always want to see the Big Ten teams. So I did say there's going to have 2 teams in the Final Four. So I'm not completely wrong just yet. So I got, I still got a chance, to make that happen. But like I said, I always cheer for the Big Ten. I cheer for the Ohio State Buckeyes first in NCAA. And then I cheer for the Big Ten second. Then I cheer for the Dayton area teams, either University of Dayton, Wright State. And then I cheer for the Ohio teams. And speaking of Ohio, we still have the Ohio University Bobcats are still in it. They play Creighton tonight at 6:00. So we're going to be cheering for them. And then after that order of the way I cheer for teams during this NCAA tournament, and then I cheer for the underdog. I always cheer for the underdog. And this is the tournament of the underdogs, because do the underdog win it? When was the last time an underdog won this tournament? Does it ever really happen? It's been, I don't know if in my lifetime. There's been some lower seeds win the final team, but were they truly underdogs? The last underdog to get to the Final Four, I think that was Loyola, Chicago. And they've played themselves out of the underdog. They're no longer underdogs. Once you go to a Final Four, Gonzaga was an underdog, in the mid-90s, early 2000s, but they're no longer an underdog. They're a number 1 seed, overall number 1 seed. So you can play yourself out of that underdog status, with history. But does it make me feel any better that Ohio State losing because Oral Roberts whipped them, and then they went on yesterday and whipped Florida? So now Florida is at home with us. And it still hurts, and it hurts to lose. But like I said, that's what the give and take of this tournament. It can give you smiles, and they also cut your heart out. It's so the ebb and flow and the highs and lows, of this tournament, and that's why it's special. That's why they call it March Madness, and it drives you mad, both directions. And that's why we missed it so much last year because of the pandemic. I just still figured they was going to figure out a way to get it done last year, but it was so early. I definitely understood, why they didn't play it. But now watching it this year, you have a totally much more appreciation for the tournament. But on a quick 30-second sidebar, wouldn't it terrible what happened to VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University? You know, they would have made the tournament last year. This year, they made the tournament, ready to play, and then they had COVID-19 restrictions, and they had to, you know, I guess, I would say no, you know, forfeit, but we still think they called it was an uncontested loss or something like that, no contest. And so that just that's a bunch of garbage. You know, them saying you can't play because of COVID-19. Oregon State is going to benefit, and they're going to go on to the. Oregon is going to go to the, you know, into the next level, and you know that's what it's going to be. And they could have still played the game if they would have had 5 kids. That wasn't in the protocol, but it didn't work out that way. And I just feel so bad for VCU. Because I don't care who it is. You know, if it was Ohio State, Akron, University of Dayton, Wright State, doesn't matter. When you make the tournament like that and you have health restrictions, it's such a bad thing. I think what I would propose to the NCAA, they don't listen to me anyway, but I would propose to them, maybe someone would put them in a tournament next year. They would have been in it the last 2 years. Put them in the tournament, even as a play-in team. Put them in. You know, I know that next year they're going to have different guys coming and guys going, but as a kudos, you're going to have 68 teams in there. What's wrong with a 69th team? You know, so I'm saying no matter what their record is next year is really what I'm saying. They could be sub 500. Put them in. Let them play in the play-in game. Or whatever, them versus the number 1 overall seed. Put them in. You know, as a bit their way of making amends, not, you know, just as a good nature and a sportsmanship deal. Because when you make the NCAA tournament, that comes with a certain financial package as well. And it helps out your recruiting and everything else. So I would propose to put Virginia Commonwealth in the tournament next year. That's what I said. A quick side note. It's, you know, it's over. But go back to the Ohio State loss. Ohio State lost to Oral Roberts, you know, on Friday. By Saturday morning, news had broken that all these death threats and nasty, you know, social media, you know, tweets and, you know, posted and direct messages was on the account of E.J. Liddell. You know, how, you know, nobody feels as bad as I feel, as bad as you feel. Nobody feels worse than the players and coaches in that locker room. You know, so for anybody, you know, to issue a death threat, you know, it doesn't feel good. And you have to take these yahoos seriously. And it's a serious thing. And I'm not going to say who did it. I don't know who did it. But when I say I don't know who, I'm not even going to put it on a fan. You know, a true Ohio State fan wouldn't say that. You know, you wouldn't say that. I don't, and it's not me, Keith, you're taking it for your alma mater. It's not about the alma mater. You know, how many people have card-carrying cards that say, hey, I am a fan of this university, you know, or this particular team? You know, you can have that, but they don't even make those type of cards. We know who, and if you're a real fan, you would never wish death upon anybody. You know, so anybody who makes that threat, whether you're a fan of that team or not, you need to be dealt with. And so I hope the authorities, you know, find out, you know, who did that, you know, because freedom of speech is not free. And you definitely don't have the freedom to threaten anybody's life. Because you have to take that stuff seriously. You can't look at all. We have too many examples in society, you know, where people issue death threats and follow through. You know, domestic violence and things like that. You just don't do that. So why would you attack a player? You think E.J. Liddell didn't want to make those free throws? You know, and that stuff just burns me up. You know, because these guys, they're in college. Even if they were professionals, you know, that's a little different argument. But you don't threaten a professional at his job. You know, and I got to, you know, believe that, you know, a professional athlete I'm talking about. They're trying their best. And when they're not trying their best, cut them, fire them. because you cannot just single out athletes to be your personal whipping stool, or we want to talk bad about. But somebody come to your job and get on the way, what you did right or wrong. Because that is their job, not just to, cosplayers, but as professionals. That's what they do for a living. Their job just happens to be on television. And what if we had you on television and we got to boo you for every mistake that you made at your job, whatever your job is? That wouldn't feel good. Well, you said, it's not about that. Okay. How about everybody booing you when you make a mistake? You turn in a paper or report and, hey, man, this is misspelled. How could you misspell cat? It's with a C, not a K. Oh, it was a mistake. Boo. Come on. Y'all human. You're all human. So EJ Liddell has my utmost respect. And, and I don't know if he's going to be gone this year to the pros or coming back. But either way, he's a Buckeye for life, and we don't do that. Not just Buckeyes, any alumni, any university. You don't do that. Even your favorite sports team. I've never been an advocate of, denigrating that player. Go back to the Boston Red Sox when Bill Buckner let the ball go through his legs and they lose the World Series. I mean, he called hate mail for years, and they finally, forgave him. So come on, guys, we have to be better than that as a society. You don't take issues like that. Yes, I mean when they make a mistake, you let a person know about it, especially on a professional level. Professional athletes who are being paid, they make a mistake. You done spent your money to go to that stadium. Sure, you can boo. Have no problem with that. Because you're not booing the player. You're booing the action. It should be. It should be. I mean, because I believe that to be true, that you're booing the action, not them personally, because you don't even know them. And very few have gotten enough guts to challenge a player off the field in street clothes to see how that works out. You're going to go up to him, he's with his wife and kids, and they're having dinner. You're going to go up and, hey, boo, man, boo. You're terrible. You really want to do that? I don't think it's going to end well because you're trying to get a lawsuit. But that aside, you just wouldn't do that. But I don't want to get off on a rant of that. I just want to continue to talk about good basketball. And during the college, this tournament, what makes it so special is that if Ohio State plays Oral Roberts 9 times out of 10 in the regular season, or maybe even 10 out of 10, they're going to beat them. But the tournament, this, we call it March Madness because this is the end of the season. And everybody, when the season starts and when they start conditioning in September and October, everything is geared toward peaking at the end of the season. You want to be playing your best basketball in the month of March in your college basketball team. You want to be by first of the year, January, early February, you are hitting your stride. You are who you think you're going to be that particular year. Then by the conference tournament time, you are clicking on all cylinders. Even though if you may have lost, you didn't win your tournament, you still feel good about your team going into postseason play. And then when it gets here, the top 68 teams that make the tournament, majority of them is the best they're going to be. It's not like we made a tournament and we were so much better in December than we are now. And if so, you're not going to be around a long time in this tournament. But most of the teams are playing their best basketball in the month of March. Now, because you're unfamiliar for the most part with these opponents, they're playing their best. Now it's iron versus iron. You don't go by the 12 versus 5, the 1 versus 16. I understand on paper they're supposed to win, because on paper the higher seed is supposed to whip the lower seed, but it just don't work that way because pressure gets involved. I mean, when I saw Illinois play last week against Ohio State, I was like, they're gonna be tough to beat. That is a really good team. And then they get to the tournament. You watched them yesterday. It was like, is that the same team that played Ohio State? But that was one of those arguments where Illinois basketball don't play a lot of Illinois teams. they don't want to play Loyola during the regular season. And which leads me to Ohio State. I know we got way more colleges that play big-time basketball than Illinois does. Illinois has their share, but Ohio State has Ohio State in the Big Ten. You got the MAC conference. You got University of Cincinnati. And it would be hard for Ohio State to play all those schools every year. But I have high standards for Ohio State. If you listen to the show, I do. You're the head coach, basketball coach at Ohio State University. And what is my expectations for you? Well, number one, you got to be the best team in Ohio. And this year, Ohio State is not that because Ohio University is still playing. But I'm going to talk more about that. That's a little quick teaser. I'm going to talk more about that on the other side. My expectation for Chris Holtman being the head basketball coach at the Ohio State University, you have got to get this program going, into the Sweet 16s, Final Four more often than you do. You listen to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. We'll talk more after the break.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Receive a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen temporal scanner purchased at any retailer. With COVID continuing to spread, nothing matters more than having an accurate thermometer that's backed by more than 80 published peer-reviewed clinical studies, like the Exergen temporal scanner. Even after getting the COVID vaccine, you should be monitoring for fever to make sure you are protected. Keep your family and yourself safe by trading up your non-contact thermometer for an accurate temporal scanner and a $5 rebate from Exergen, where accuracy matters. Details at Exergen.com.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Body Shop Manager at Germain Honda of Beaver Creek. When you need a dependable body shop, we're here to help, repairing all makes and models. Our technicians have over 125 years experience. That means we can repair your vehicle quickly and efficiently. Our department is state-of-the-art with new equipment to get you back on the road quickly. We offer loaner cars during service and free estimates. Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight. Apply today at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week, there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Today, pros have to do whatever it takes. The Home Depot is here to make that easier. We've got the products you know and trust on our app, delivery options to get what you need exactly where you need it, and a delivery tracker that keeps you up to date on the status of your order so you can keep doing what you do best, whatever it takes to get the job done. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard. Aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Many Vietnam War veterans were unknowingly exposed to dangerous chemicals impacting their health and quality of life. There are now expanded benefits for veterans exposed to Agent Orange. Veterans with Parkinsonism, bladder cancer, or hypothyroidism who previously applied for VA disability compensation but were denied should reapply and might be eligible for retroactive compensation. Exposed veterans who have not yet applied should consider filing a new claim. For assistance, call Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801.
It's the famous Supply Overstock online auction at the famous Supply Outlet Store, 26,200 Richmond Road in Bedford Heights, Ohio. Kitchen, bathroom, and more. Bid on any and all of the building supplies you need at pbauctions.com. Large quantities of kitchen cabinets, vanities, toilets, tubs, plumbing, electrical, and so much more. Pick up anything you might need for fixing up your home at a fraction of the price of retail stores. Stock up and save. Bidding ends March 28th at 6 p.m. Preview items and get more info online at pbauctions.com.
Merrill Guided Investing. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner, and Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
My sweet cheeks feeling squeaky clean when Charmin's rolling behind the scenes. Charmin TP gives me those cheeky clean feels. That ultra strong hype is all for reals. Those TV rolls got me a Charmin clean took-es. Cheek to cheek feeling oh so shook-es.
Charmin Ultra Strong just cleans better. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for a table at a restaurant.
Thompson, party of 4. Thompson, party of 4. Thompson, oh, there you are.
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm Terry Krupp of Laird's Tax and Accounting. We are excited to announce we are open and here to help with your tax preparation needs. We offer multiple options, both convenient and safe. You can drop off your tax return, upload it to our secure website, or call for an appointment. We have 5 locations in the Miami Valley and 1 in Columbus to serve you. No matter the situation, we're confident we can do the job right. Visit Laird'sTax.com or call 937-325-6571. Laird's Tax and Accounting, here for you to ensure continued confidence in your tax return.
Need a U.S. passport? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. Visit one of our convenient auto title locations in Huber Heights, Clayton, downtown, Moraine, and Centerville. Make us your first destination before you travel abroad. No appointments ever needed. We do passports.com for more info.
Here's the good news. Even with high unemployment, there's still a need for hundreds of thousands of cybersecurity professionals in the U.S. right now. And My Computer Career is training people to help meet the demand. No IT experience? No problem. Take the free career evaluation today at mycomputercareer.edu. Start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
You run a business and you need better wireless. 3 words, no more compromise. With the T-Mobile Business Advantage, you get the largest 5G network, award-winning customer support, and insanely great value. No trade-offs. Right now, get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans when you switch via bill credits. Stop in to find out more. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Complete port within 60 days. Customers over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p unlimited on our network. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices coverage and plan details.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Indeed knows unexpected demand can stretch your business thin.
Leon speaking.
Like at Leon's Plumbing.
Sorry, quickest we can get there is next Friday.
To stay out of hot water, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
There's nothing better than a fresh-made home-style meal, but not everyone loves the hassle of cooking. At Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, home-style happens here with our famous 12-piece family meal at a great price. This famous family meal includes 12 mixed pieces of Lee's fresh, never-frozen chicken that is honey-dipped, hand-breaded, and cooked to perfection, plus 3 large sides and 6 fluffy biscuits. Get a home-style meal made easy today with Lee's 12-piece family meal at a great price. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Did you know you can get paid while enjoying the great outdoors? Grunder Landscaping Company, an industry leader, is currently offering full-time year-round positions. Grunder Landscaping provides competitive wages, a robust benefit package, free uniforms, paid certifications and training, career growth, and a $2,000 signing bonus. Apply online at grunderlandscaping.com or visit in person on Fridays between 12 and 4 at 1900 Old Byars Road in Miamisburg. Bring a friend to be eligible for a $1,000 referral bonus.
Millions of Americans have been affected by identity theft. Get LifeLock today and save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com with promo code RISK.
It's time to swing for the fences. Want to win $1,000? Be listening weekdays once an hour starting at 6 a.m. for the winning word and enter it at wingam.com. It's the Swing for the Fences $1,000 a day giveaway right here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Everybody get up. All right. You listen to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Phone number to call is 937-457-9464. You hit me on Twitter also, KAB41. Hey, it's lunchtime. I hope you guys getting something to eat. I had something to eat here on the break. I'm going to tell you what I had, but I had some Lee's in here, some Lee's chicken. I guess I will tell you what I had. It had some coleslaw and mac and cheese. And topped it off with the apple pie. So doesn't it make you hungry? Pull over. Here's Lee's right around the corner from you. Go on there and get something. Tell them Keith sent you. I don't know if it's going to get you a discount or not, but you can just tell them Keith sent you. Hey, but before the break, I was talking about the expectations for Ohio State basketball, and specifically Chris Holtmann. I think he's a heck of a coach. Like the way, the direction that he's leading the program. By no means am I, I'm frustrated like everyone else that they lost in the first round. But I'm not that knee-jerk guy to be like, fire him. Come on, coach. No. It feels good. Sometimes you have to vent. You say things you don't always mean. So I'm sure there was some of that cries after that loss on Friday. But now it's over with. The second round will be complete by tonight, and then we can forget about it. And, my thing, one of my running jokes, for years that I've always said about Ohio State basketball, because it's such a, football dominant led school. And people say, y'all just a football school. No, we're more than that at Ohio State. Just football just gets most of the attention. But those who really know, we're everything you need at the Ohio State University. But my joke is, when I'm messing with the basketball program as a joke, I'm like, we only care about you for 6 weeks a year. After the bowl games, after football team done finished the bowl game, the first of the year, then we turn it over to you for the next 6 weeks. Meaning the rest of, I really start the clock in February, because we're still having football hangover, all the way through the Super Bowl. And then we turn all of our attention for the next 6 weeks on Ohio State basketball. That's when the Big Ten season really gets into full bloom by the middle, the end of January, and all of February leads you into the March Madness. So we only care about you for 6 weeks. Y'all still a thunder from the football program for those 6 weeks, and it's all on you. And it's your turn to carry the torch. So with that being said, we put it on the head basketball coach at Ohio State. When you take that job the expectation levels. Just like when you take the job to be the head football coach at The Ohio State University, there's certain expectations that come with that. You're the head football coach at Ohio State. We expect you to win the Big Ten. We want, we didn't come in here. We expect to be well over 500. So it's certain expectations. So for Chris Holtzman, or anybody that sits in his seat, in his position, when you're the head basketball coach at The Ohio State University, what do we expect? I'm going to give you what I expect. You're going to agree or disagree with me if you want. And here, I'm going to lay it all out. You're the head basketball coach. You are supposed to be the best team in Ohio. The best team in Ohio. And Ohio has great basketball. I mean, Cincinnati, elite program. The MAC schools, elite programs. Right here in the Gem City, Dayton, elite program. Wright State is an elite program. You're an elite program when you are in the tournament, in the NCAA tournament. Mediocre programs don't make that tournament. Elite programs are in that tournament more often than not. And last year we would have had 2 teams in a tournament had it been a pandemic. This year we didn't get any, but that's okay. But you're not going to go too many years without Dayton, Wright State being in a tournament, Akron, Ohio University, Cincinnati, Bowling Green, Kent State, the list goes on. But Ohio State is supposed to stand above all of those. So Chris Holtman, you are supposed to be the best team in Ohio in basketball. And I'm using the example I'm using is everything is based on a 5-year period. Every 5 years, what happened in this 5-year period? So in 5 years, Chris Holtzman era, he hadn't been here 5 years yet. But I'm saying once we get to 5 years, what are we expecting? He needs to be the best team in Ohio 4 out of 5 years. Ohio State's not the best team in Ohio this year. And why you say that, Keith? Because they're at home and Ohio University is still playing. They made it to the second round. Ohio State didn't. So that's how you determine who's the best team in Ohio, by being the last team standing. Not that you beat them in this particular school in December or January or November. That don't make you the best. You got to be the last team standing. That's how we measure it. I mean, on paper, Ohio State football is the best team in the Big Ten every year. But then we play the season, and then we look back, well, who's the last team standing in the Big Ten? That's who's the best. And recent note, it's been The Ohio State University. So you have to use that same matrix when you talk about basketball. So Chris Holtman, the Ohio State basketball team needs to be the best team in Ohio 4 out of 5 years. Next criteria, you need to win the Big Ten basketball championship, either the regular season title or the Big Ten tournament, 2 out of 5 years. Every 5 years, at least 2 of those, you won the Big Ten regular season title or the tournament. I don't think that's asking too much. Because reason why I said either or, because sometimes you can be the regular season champion and then get upset in the Big Ten tournament. It happens all the time in every conference tournament across the country. You'll still make it to the NCAAs. But I'm saying win the Big Ten regular season title or the tournament 2 out of every 5 years. It's not asking a lot. So what's my other expectation as head basketball coach at The Ohio State University? Make it to now that you're in the tournament, because you're going to be in the tournament by winning the NCAA. Now, once you make the tournament, be in the Sweet 16 3 out of 5 years. Every 5 years, 3 of those years you were in the Sweet 16. That means you won your first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. Now you're in the Sweet 16. Because it sounds like we were Sweet 16. They hang banners in some gymnasiums. Hey, we were Sweet 16, 1988. Sweet 16, 1948. Sweet 16, 2008. And that's big time for a lot of programs. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, if Wright State makes it to the Sweet 16, I'm sure they're going to get a banner. Would you agree with that, my producer, Justin? That'd be a banner that'd be hanging in another center. And that would be a great thing to do. So making the Sweet 16 is not, that's hard to do. So every 5 years, 3 of those years, Ohio State basketball should be in the Sweet 16. Not asking an awful lot. My other criteria, head basketball coach at The Ohio State University. Now that you've met those other ones, be in the Elite Eight 2 out of every 8 years. Not only did you make the Sweet 16, you won a game, and that puts you into the Elite Eight. So I'm saying now Ohio State's made the Sweet 16. Now let's win a game, one game. Then now you went from the Sweet 16 to being in the Elite Eight. And I'm saying Ohio State basketball should be Elite Eight in an 8-year period at least twice. Because Elite Eight that's hard to do too. Because now you've already won the Sweet 16, made it into the Sweet 16. You won that other game either on Thursday, Friday usually, and now you're in the Elite Eight playing for a spot in the Final Four. I mean, my good friend Mark Baker, Dunbar grad, Ohio State grad, point guard for Ohio State team. He played with Jimmy Jackson, Chris Gent, Lawrence Funderburk. That was a great Ohio State basketball team in the early 90s. They won the Big Ten championship. The Big Ten title. They didn't have a tournament back then. And they beat the Fab Five. They beat Michigan's Fab Five with Chris Webber, Jalen Rose. They beat them twice that year during the regular season. And how the tournament matched up, they played them. It was in the same region, and they both made it to the Elite Eight. And Ohio State came within a jump shot of making it to the Final Four. They beat this team, Michigan team, twice, lost to them in the Elite Eight. Michigan goes to the Final Four. Ohio State doesn't. But, hey, Mark Baker played on an elite team and Elite Eight team. And that's, it's an eyelash from the Final Four. I'm saying that should happen twice in an 8-year period for Ohio State basketball. Now, the final criteria is, well, not the final, but now you've done those other things. Now be a Final Four team. You're the head basketball coach at Ohio State. We expect a Final Four every decade, one time in a 10-year period. 1 out of 10 years, I expect the head basketball coach at Ohio State to have a Final Four team. Then I can hear something. Well, Keith, they would have been there if they didn't have some of these one and dones, D'Angelo Russells, Greg Oden, Conley, Daquan Cook. I get all that. But at the end of all that, I'm expecting a Final Four appearance once in a decade for the basketball coach at Ohio State. That's what it is. And then I didn't even mention about winning it all. I don't even have that on my criteria. You must win a national championship to keep this job. Just like in football and a whole lot of other sports, that's not the gold standard. That is the standard. There's only one team going to win it. I mean, when was the last time Ohio State won the championship, the national championship in basketball? You're looking it up. You don't have to. I already know. Once. What year was that? 1960. What year is this? 2021. We got some more waiting to do, don't we? Hey, it's been over 60 years, 61 years since we've been, to the final, till we won the national championship. And there's going to be even more now. We got to wait till at least 2022. There's very few teams win a national championship. Just like in football, there's very few teams that win the national championship in basketball. There's more teams that win it in basketball than football, but that's not the gold standard of keeping your job and saying you had a successful turn. So that's what I expect out of Chris Holtmann. What year is this for Chris Holtmann? Year 3? Year 4? Time flies. Year 4. So, Chris, I'm a big fan because you're the head coach. I like what you did before you got to Ohio State. So I am a fan, but this is the standard. You're at The Ohio State University. You and your coaching staff and recruiters, y'all have to get out and get the best talent. I didn't even mention recruiting. I think if you're Ohio State, I'm going to be the top 5 players that come out in Ohio. Every year we have, Ohio is one of the few states that are rich in talent in a whole bunch of sports, not just 1 or 2 sports. Ohio State is rich in, Ohio is a state full of talent of every degree. You need baseball players, we got that. You need track and field, we got that. You need football, of course we got that. You need basketball, we have that. So out of the top 5 players in Ohio, every year, Ohio State needs to get no less than 2. No less than 2 are the best, the truly best players, in Ohio State. And then once you get them, develop them. They're not going to all be one and done. Develop them. That's what I want to see. And overall, every year when the top recruits come out, is Ohio State truly getting the 2 out of 5 best players in Ohio. I don't even know who the best players in Ohio are this year. That's not, it's not my job to know that. If I know it, I know it. That's the university's job to know that, and you need to get them in. I'm gonna do some more research to get back to you on that, but some of that is subjective because I don't necessarily go by what you read. Sometimes you got to look at the eye test, and you have to look at the eye test and to determine that. But that's what we expect out of the Ohio State basketball program. You're gonna always be second fiddle to the football team, but that don't feel bad. There's a whole lot of people playing second fiddle to the football program. But when you have the spotlight, and you will have it again this time next year, and these same questions will be asked this time next year. Only thing I'm looking for a different note, like, check, we did this, we did that. And so next year, come March Madness, this weekend, I want Ohio State to still be playing. And along with the other Ohio teams, I want Wright State back in the tournament. I want UD back in the tournament. Cincinnati. Oh, wouldn't it be something that one year we ever had an all-Ohio final? Why not? Well, yeah, somebody's laughing right now. Why not? It's okay to have an all-Ohio final. The way they have the regions spread out and the quality of basketball we have here, an all-Ohio final. That can happen. But going back to my point, I expect Chris Holtmann to bring in their talent, develop them, and during the football season, every football season, one of the things I talk about is identity. Who are you? Who are you? Everybody has to know who you are and fall in line. That's what championships do on every level, on every sport. This year, Ohio State basketball never had a true identity. I just remark, Ohio State basketball is great for 35 minutes. It's those last 5 minutes of the game that gets them. And that's what happened this year in the tournament, the last 5 minutes. The first 35 wasn't whistling Dixie, but in the last 5 minutes, they had a lead and couldn't hold on. 50% from the free throw line. Turnovers at the wahoo. Come on, guys. You got to be better than that. We will be better than that. 2021 is in the record books. Nothing else going to happen for our basketball program until next year. But next year, we will ask these questions. And so kudos to all the players and stuff that effort they put into this season. It was a season unlike any other with the pandemic. We understand that. But now let's turn the page. Enjoy your all-season basketball team, but all-season doesn't last long. So get back to work, later on this summer and come back even stronger. You'll have my support and Buckeye Nation behind you. But right now, it hurts, but we'll get over it. Hey, on a high note, spring practice started last week in football, so even more, we'll get back to some more football talk next time. And bingo fans, let's get to work. You want to be better? Get better now. You've been listening to the Keith Byars radio show presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Hey, get out and do random acts of kindness for your fellow man. God bless you. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio. We are Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
And into the end zone goes Chris Olave. KJ Hill